say each property costs $29 per week, okay? The net position will be that. But for you, it's $70 a week it's going to cost. And net position will be this. Oh, for you, it will be cash flow positive. And here I'm just giving you screenshots to discuss capabilities, right? Make sense? Okay. Now, let's have a look at these numbers again. So, house value 3.4, debt 51. What? If you had that. Why? Because I'm using all the tax back to clear his debt. So, monthly repayment, $800. Home equity, superannuation, shares, savings. House value 3%. So, the bulk of his wealth is in his own home. Right? Look at this. So, now, you compare that with that. So this is his as is. Forgive me. This is his as is, do nothing. This is he just buys the three first property investments and never chain reacts. The three first ones. That's the net result. Now, if I start comparing, here we go. Same guy. Same guy. All I'm saying is get Tom, Dick, and Harry in there paying for those houses for you. There's no such a thing as investing without risk. If somebody tells you that what I am saying has no risk, they're lying to you. Every investment has risk. What are the two major risks? Interest rate rises. Okay? Also, when interest rate rises, all the rents go up. This is how you follow. When interest rates go up, rents will follow up. Interest rates will come down. Rents will not come down. So the way to navigate this situation is to always, I'm not going to wait for you to ask me what if interest rates go up. I'll ask you before we go. So if banks are lending at 5, I'll run it at 6. If banks are lending at 6, I'll run it at 7. And you can go in the software and change it to 9 if you wanted to. So one risk is rent going up. The other risk is the house being empty. Right? So what we force the software to do is to show you if the houses will be empty up to 2 months. Every single property be empty for 2 months, what would happen to you? Mathematically, it's almost impossible. Houses being empty to do with rent, right? And we build enough buffers in the model that if you need to reduce the rent, how much the rent? $600. You put it out for $560, you get a tenant. Make sense? All right? So now, this is what I like. Zero debt, first property investment already, home equity, superannuation, shares, dividend due to property positive cash flow, property investment. This is his net worth in the properties. Guys, met the guy, had shares, got it, got his own home, got it, got some savings, got it. If he was to build a chain reaction or real estate, this is the real estate results. He's paying way too much tax, get all the tax back, clear his debt. So go back to a principle we were discussing earlier. It's not just the growth of the properties, but also the debt reduction. Do you understand? And that difference in the middle is what creates the results. If you're not paying the debt down and you're only counting on the growth, do you understand? Like it puts a bottom. So the growth. So what you will find is growth and debt reduction, and then the gap widens. Right? So far, so good?
So it means that, we asked this client not to put any more money in super shares and just put all in a real estate property.
No, we actually all that happened for Raja actually was this. We'll keep what you got happening. I just want to use your inefficiencies now, all this money you're throwing out in tax. So I asked him one question. How much could you save a week, given your life now? And he said something like, I could save $600, $700 a week. But that's all we're gonna use. Right? And that created all these properties. That money he can save, utilizing his current equity, that money he can save creates the chain reaction. Right? And after Sam is done and presenting, you actually see how the thing gets played. Now, when his son is an adult, gets his first job, kid gets out of uni, gets his first job, give or take making $75,000. Johnny, his son, went to school with Peter. They both get a job in the same company, 75 grand. Okay? Johnny sees his dad, comes in. Dad says, you know what? I'm going to pull some equity of property number 2 and get you into your first property investment. No cash. So calls one of our guys, gets the equity out of here. First property now is purchased in Johnny's name. Got it? How much tax do you think Johnny's going to pay? This is his friend, Peter. Give me a number. 0. I'm not talking about the debt anymore. So if Johnny comes out of university, bang, steps into his first job ever, got it, and he used some equity of one of the investments, not even the house, of some of the investments, here you go, bang, and he's his first $75,000. There's a whole property investment sitting against that, he'll pay 0 tax. By the time Dominic is done, bang, depreciation, blah, 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 all tax come back. Hey, Johnny, listen to the sound. What's the sound? Oh. When money comes back from the ATO, ain't income, brother. It goes in there as debt. So now you already know that Johnny, 3 years in, 4 years in, he's going to borrow against his first house and buy the next one. And the point is, you can model your own life in the software. What if this? What if that? What about this? What about that? There is like, it's just a game. Play the rules. There we go. Boom. It maps it out for you. And it's open. It's like we have doctors in every state in Australia playing with it. Right? So that is the piece. Is that all right?
So this equity from the investment property can go only to the investment property, not the principal residence?
Now you are around 6 slides ahead of me. Man, by the way, keep coming with it because it's good for me. Because it actually, it's live feedback. I'm going to take it there in a moment. No, the properties will buy everything else. You are just slightly ahead of me. I'm catching up to you now. All right? Okay, so check this out. That's the case for Raj. The properties will be $52. The first 3 properties will make him $52 each. Cash flow positive. That's this guy. Okay? Now, this is the, it is so common for us. People get to this point in the software and they say, I got to go talk to my accountant. Okay? I got to talk to my mother-in-law. Okay? I got to do this, do that. I got to think about it. Okay? No, brother. You know what you should do? Press the button. It's done. Do you understand what I mean by no mercy? It is done. Done. It is done. You look at it. Bang. You live in a world of diagnostics. You like certainty. Your blood test says this, and this. It is done. You have iron deficiency, and you need to take this. It is done. Done. You're no longer not knowing what's wrong with you. This is what's wrong with you, and I'm going to prescribe this and this. You live in the same world as me. But your world's biological systems, where mine is financial systems. That is, bang, done. Right? So now, look at this guy. His applied income plus his rental income, his deductions, right? Taxable income, present tax, new tax, saves $9,700. He's going to get this money back or not pay for it. Depends on his relationship. He may say, I just don't pay. But if you knew there was a timeline in which you would pay $9,700 in tax, and now you won't, I would say, hey, would you consider taking that $9,000 you pay to the government and pay yourself? Yeah, right. Where do I put it? In your mortgage. So it's an extra $9,700 straight into the principal. You guys getting the connectivity, yeah? Everything's like this. So less is more. I want less is more. So I have one guy who becomes my client, is going to do 13 properties, 6 properties, 7 properties. And because it doesn't end with the properties. It happens all the time. Dr. Sharp says, I want to buy a business. I want to actually buy a clinic. I want to buy this. Now you know we're going to buy against the property, set up the trust, and buy whatever you're going to buy. Ain't about just a house on the hill. It becomes infinitum. Let's take it easy. Let's go slowly because we're in a hurry. Does it make sense? We measure twice, cut once. Press the button. Cost of that property? Minus $52. In other words, it makes him $52 a week. The cost is minus 52. So it makes him $52 a week. So this basic strategy would deliver Raj a minimum of $29,000 across the 3 properties, yeah? Of compounding debt reduction from the first year onwards. If he buys the 3 properties, his debt is going to go down by $290,000 in the next 10 years, just because of those 3 properties. Oh, what if he does the 4th one? What if he does the 5th one? Now, away we go, right? So the goal is to clear his personal debt using other people's money by investing. Or you can do it yourself, right? There you are, 4 slides. Yeah? So this is your own home. So if you showed up here and says, oh, Julio, I already live in my house. I'm not moving out. I'm not renting my house out. Yeah, okay, I got it. But most people, I got it. But what we're doing here is we're going to put a protection around your own home. Yep. And baby, we're going to reduce your personal debt like there's no tomorrow. How are we going to do that? Well, if you have equity in your own house, you're going to pull the equity, buy another property. You know why? Because you can, and they're going to let you. And then once you have equity in those 2 properties, we're going to buy another one. You know why? Because they're going to let you. And so forth. The moment that this property becomes cash flow positive, you can tell this property to start buying managed funds. Dollar averaging. So you can literally walk into a financial planner and say, hey, this property here makes me $200 a week. I want you to put $200 a week every week into a diversified fund and just buy and then leverage that $200 into another 100. So that property is now buying managed funds. Does that make sense? Next property is buying shares. Next property is bang, bang. You show up at Dominique like this, you're the sexiest client I've seen in years. Look like this, you go like, yeah, we can do some serious tax planning now. So that's where the conversation about reverse engineering for us. Like, yeah, sure. Well, what have you got? We know there's no integration. Breathe. So Sam is the client manager. So what Sam does is take your information and he goes, he's the accountant. Yep. He's the broker. Yep. He's the financial planner. Yeah. Hey, Julio, do I have to be with all of your team? No. You already have an accountant? Yeah, we'll stay with your accountant. Do I have to be with your financial planner? Yeah. The only thing we ask is if your current advisor is lame, we're going to tell you. Well, it's simple as that. Is it too heavy? Am I saying that? Too heavy? Or everybody okay with that? Terminology lame? All good? Okay, because like, man, look, dude, this better is better. The most powerful enemy of the excellent is the good enough. Yeah, this is good, but it could be excellent. And all I ask is to show you the difference, right? And what you notice is people trying to defend the good enough. People try to defend good enough all the time with their lives. I'm like, dude, let's go for excellency. Why not? That makes sense. It makes sense, doesn't it? And with numbers, it becomes really powerful. So, integration solution with Medigrow, results 14 years later, right? House paid for in real terms years earlier using tax saved. After inflation, the $389,000 income needed at retirement is now fully covered. Okay, so this is the equivalent of $250,000. Progressive compounding tax savings, more investments, less tax, more capacity to eliminate debt. Once own house is paid for, property investments debt is tackled. $82,000 less tax per annum by the time he buys his 6th house. I love this. By the time he has 6 property investments, right? Then, get this, $495,000 savings in tax alone, right? Once paid in the investment debt, this could compound effortlessly, right? I wish he came a little earlier, right? But 55 is fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's you, Sam. Guys, I just want to say this to you. When doctors tell me now that they want to retire, I don't trust them. Just don't. I go, yeah, whatever. You want to take a year off in Greece. I got you. I got you. You know what I mean? Because they come in and go like, oh,